I can't fucking believe it. I honestly just can't fucking believe it. Episode 9. Here we are. Now you're probably thinking, the fuck's this guy gotta say today? Well, we're about to find out on today's episode of the TrapHouse podcast. Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. That's kind of like the slogan they give for kids now. Thanks for showing up. Let's give you a fucking award. I remember back in the day when you had to work for stuff. When you had to put in that little bit of effort. What do you say you just give a little extra today? Just give a little extra. You don't have to give much. In the span of all time, if you were to give 10 minutes, you know, we're just going to push the envelope today, because that's what we do on the TrapHouse podcast. We push the envelope. If you spend an extra 30 minutes a day just thinking about and writing down goals, ambitions, solutions to problems that you may be having. If you just take 30 minutes a day, I mean, people spend hours a day in the gym exhausting their bodies, which is good. But if you were just to take 30 minutes a day using a little bit of wrist muscle and some mind power, you'd be able to conquer whatever obstacles you're facing. You'd be able to reach a goal a little bit faster. I don't know, this is just something I'm thinking about, I guess. You just give a little extra. I guess that's the point. Just give a little extra. But you can't just expect shit in return. You got to put in the effort. If you expect shit to be handed to you, turn off this goddamn podcast. I think it's about time we man up and just take responsibility for what we need to do as humans. And that's to live and be happy. Why not give it a shot? Not a forced shot, but this is a shot you're choosing to do. Take a shot on your own life. Give a little extra. Just that little extra goes such a long way. You may not realize it immediately, but over time, your life will change for the better. Now that's a guarantee. It's also a fact, in my opinion. Alright guys, gals, and everybody else, listen, welcome back again. I can't say it enough. I'm just happy to be back. I'm happy to be able to do this. It excites me. It wakes me up every morning. The fact that I was struggling before to find the time to do it has now been a goal that's been achieved. So now I can just do it a little, because I gave a little extra. Now I'm able to do it a little more. Why not, right? I'm living proof that if you were to just give a little extra, shit'll go your way. And that's the goal, right? That's the goal. But here's something to think about. We talked about it last episode. It was something that was super important. It's actually extremely important if you were to break it down like we like to do here on this podcast. There's no reason why we wouldn't. If you take a little bit of time and think, it's fun. You can travel anywhere in the world by shutting your fucking eyelids and then thinking about it. You want to be on a nice sandy beach somewhere? Close your eyes. Use your mind power. You know, they say you only use about 5% of it. I mean, I've heard that Albert Einstein maybe used 10. Imagine if you were to use 11. Or even 10.1% of your brain power just to think about anything. That guy figured out that time and space bend. Imagine what you could do. I don't know, we're going to talk about it today here on the TrapHouse podcast. So where does time go after it passes? So you've had a little bit of time to think about it. These pods are going to start coming out a lot more frequently and with more veracity than ever. There's no reason to hold back, ladies and gentlemen. We live in the year 2021. If you can be who you want to be and you can say what you want to say, why not do it? Why not? So let's figure out where time goes after it passes. Now we know it's here. I mean, we all have watches, we have clocks, we have sundials, we have the sun to tell us, you know, hey, it's daytime. And then the moon peeks his fucking head around the corner. Hey, nighttime's coming. So we know that it's here, right? We know it's here while we're in it, in that time. But after that time that we've experienced, or however you spent that time, you could spend it with a loved one. You could spend it playing video games. You could spend it outside with a pet. You can spend it a million other ways. Drawing, thinking. But during all these activities that you choose to do, time is there, and you know it's there. Like you can't touch it or grab it, but you know it's there. Kind of like the air, you know? Almost immeasurable, but yet it's still there. So while you're enjoying your activity, whatever it is you choose to do, I heard some people like to choke themselves while masturbating. I don't know, that's a thing, I guess. But everybody who chooses to do something somewhere, it has to occur at some time. So to think about time, we got to think, hey man, so I get to experiences during this thing we call time. Sorry, I had some dust on the computer. But if we're experiencing this time while it's present, it's right here, it's literally right in front of us. One, where did that section of time, where did that time come from? How did it become our time, basically? How did it become our time? Because we had it in the moment that we were in, right? So time's got to come from somewhere. It has to. Everything comes from somewhere. But you need something for something to exist. Put your hand out. What do you see in it? You can say nothing. You can say there's literally nothing in my hand, but there is. There's the air surrounding it, the molecules and whatnot. So you can't see it, but in all reality, it's there, right? So this time that we enjoy, or sometimes we don't enjoy it. Sometimes the times that we have are very sad. You know, sometimes the passing of a loved one happens or occurs. or a loved one gets sick. Maybe you get sick. But still, in that time, you get to experience all these things. The emotions, the feeling like you're involved in something, that you're part of something. You can't really put your hands on, but you know that something's going on. But let's break down where does time go after it passes? Because it's got to go somewhere. Okay? And if you debate me in the comments. Debate me by sending this to maybe somebody who knows the answer. Debate me by hitting that like button a little bit. Or hitting the dislike button. In all actuality, doesn't matter to me, man. Or woman. Or whatever you choose to be. What I'm trying to break down here is to the smallest amount. If time is present, right, where we're standing, after that moment's passed, where's that time go? You can't take a picture of it. You can't capture it in a bottle. You can't wish it back. So where in all fuck does it go? I mean, is it like packing up and maybe going on to somebody else? Is it just gone? You can't, Where does time go after it passes? I mean, this is really something to think about now, isn't it? And I hope you did. Because if you sit and think real hard, man, and you're like, man, they tell us it's 5 p.m. I mean, the clock is what I'm saying. By they, I mean time machines. And I don't mean things that go back in time or forward in time. I mean, time machines, sundials, watches, your fucking phone, Big Ben, the goddamn sun. You understand what I'm saying? So, we have these time machines that tell us what time it is. Where does it fucking go after it was here? Seriously. You have some of the best times of your life during time. You have a lot of, you have the worst times of your life during time. But god damn it, man, it's such a big part of your life, and I bet you never thought, where does it come from? And then where does it go? Broaden your fucking horizons. Use the brain power you got. I'm trying to think about where time went, and I can't fucking figure it out. Anyway, it's definitely a challenge to try to grasp that time, though, isn't it? You can take all the pictures you want. You can take all the videos you want. You can do a podcast like this. But in all actuality, that time's gone. And where's it going? Maybe we'll catch up to it in death. Maybe we'll catch up to it if we run fast enough and get to the other side of the earth. Who knows? Who fucking knows, man? So just like always, it's just here's something to think about, guys. Dropping it on you. I hope you thought about it. And I hope it made you think about other things. Because thinking's key in this life. Controlling what you have going on upstairs and how you're doing mentally is your responsibility. So use it, right? Why not? But what if we're just as humans just passing through this thing called time. Maybe it never really goes anywhere. You understand that? What if, as humans, as animals, plants, whatever, if time's always existed, what if we're just passing through? What if time never really goes anywhere? They say it's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Again, I'm talking about the time machines we all look at. But we have all these time machines that tell us what time it is. What if time actually never really fucking happens and we're just passing through it? I don't know, man. It's just something to think about. But listen. On the next episode of the TrapHouse podcast, here's something to fucking think about. Open up your ear holes real big. This one's gonna touch you. Maybe at one part of that brain where you're supposed to think. Because that brain up there, it ain't just for nothing. Maybe this will pique somebody's interest. Who knows? If this piques your interest, hit the subscribe button. If you think it would pique someone else's interest, share it. Free will. Does it really exist? We're going to discuss that. So think about it. Think long and hard. Free will. Does it exist? We're going to talk about that in depth because, as you know, once you start thinking about something, you can really dissect it all the way down to the molecule. But you've got to put some thought into it. So again, I'll say, here's something to think about. Free will. Does it really exist? Again, we'll talk about that on the next episode of the TrapHouse podcast. Hey, Phil. Why are you late? Do you understand you're supposed to be here on time? We're not running some sort of Mickey Mouse fucking clubhouse here. Philip, next time that you show up late, you're done. Remember what happened to Dave? What do you mean? There's no traffic around here. Listen, dude. There's no traffic, okay? I know. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You're not going nowhere. Nobody's driving. What else? You had to stop it. Of course you got Dunkin' Donuts. Of course you. Did you see that fucking Dunkin' deaf lady? Did she figure out how to use a pad and pen? That fucking dumb. Did you listen to that episode? You did, didn't you? It's funny as fuck, wasn't it? Yeah, well, it's alright. It's alright. You're forgiven. Just let's get to work, okay? Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, Philip, he's back. Philip's back. And I'm glad to have him back, you know? It's always good to have somebody else in the studio with me. I'll tell you right now, because it's almost like talking to a wall sometimes. But then I start thinking, hey, we got Philip. Philip's right there. Say hey, Philip. Welcome back, buddy. Anyway, let's get into some. I don't know if they're gonna be. I don't know where it's gonna go. You know how it goes, guys. We have the here's something to think about, right? Because you gotta always start your day with something to think about. Seriously, you have to just use your brain and just think about some things. You know, it's very important. It is very important to use your brain. Think. When you think, you can solve problems. It's very simple to solve problems if you think about it. Because asking your retarded neighbor ain't gonna help you. Asking your therapist ain't gonna help you. They get paid to listen. Asking anybody who you're close to, shit, they always give you advice that you want to hear, you know? So why don't you do your own thinking? Stop letting other people think for you. Okay? Okay. Oh, man, I sound like I feel like I'm just telling you guys what to do, and you know what? Who gives a fuck? Use your just remember when you were a kid and you really had nothing, right? As a kid, you didn't have to worry about things. You didn't have much going on, so you put all of your emphasis, all of your energy into what you were doing. You used a lot of your mind power back then, your imagination, and you went to work as an adolescent, you know, and then we start getting distracted. We get all these distractions along the way as adults. Isn't that a little weird? It's a little weird that we get pulled away from that the way we think as children, as adolescents. I mean, not the middle school age, whatever. You're still like thinking on your own. You're not persuaded by anybody really. But it's nice to be able to have that childlike wonder, right? So even if you took something small and you just analyzed it like a kid would. So if you pick up, let's say you're outside and you flip over a stone. Oh my God, there's an earthworm under there. What would a kid do? A kid would just reach in there and pick that shit up. What do adults do? They flip that rock over. Ew! 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 Get this shit away from me! Even some men do that. But the kid, the child, that wonder inside the kid says, pick that up. Let's figure out what the fuck that thing is. My inner child swore a lot. Pick that little fucking... What is that squiggly thing on the ground? Kind of looks like one of those things I got as a snack. Let me pick that fucking thing up, and you pick that worm up. You pick that worm up. And then you're holding it and it just starts to move from both ends, and you're like, oh my God. This thing's got two heads. And then you just inspect it, a little bit. You hold it in your hand, you look, you see how it moves. Maybe you drop it. Where did that wonder go? I'll tell you where it went. I'll tell you exactly where it went. And if any of you out there got some cherry ear, if any of you out there got some virgin ears or you got cherries in your ears, I'm about to fuck that cherry. Okay? It's going to be a bloody goddamn mess. So get your paper towels out. Because it's going to hurt. That childlike wonder that you used to have when you looked at that little worm, when you seen a bird fly. How the fuck is that happening? You said to you, how? I know some kids who saw a bird and were like, I can do that. Didn't turn out too well for them, but that sense of wonder said, if that bird can do it, you can do it. And if even if you can't do it, you want to figure out how to do it. Shout out to the Wright brothers. R.I.P., bro. But that sense of wonder. Now get ready, because your ear holes are about to get fucked rotten. That sense of wonder was taken from you by people, by other humans, who thought they knew what was best for you. Your sense of wonder was raped from you by other humans who thought they knew what was best for you. That's a sad realization, isn't it? Your sense of wonder was taken from you. You don't, it's not something that's easily taken. You know? It's not easily taken at all. However, with strategic planning, they can take it very easily. The humans that want to manipulate you. So I encourage all of you to maybe revert back to being a child, back to having the eyes of a child, and say, I'm going to look at life a little differently. Just, even if it's for a day, just do maybe like half a day. Look at the world as a child would. Or like a retard. You know? Somebody who just looks at things as if everything's new. Or they look at it as if they can learn something from it. And that's extremely important. Now, folks, as most of you already know, I'm a retard. 110%. Now, I give that extra 10% to prove it. I don't have to give that 10%, but I just give it, you know. So I try to look at things a little different. I challenge you to look at things just a little different. Look at them as a child would. Look at them as like, hey, this is new. How can I learn from this? Now see, as an adult, you're trained to pay somebody to do that for you. Okay? It's not needed. It's not needed. It's a need that's not needed. It's something that should be wanted, not needed. If you want something, you get it, or you go out and get it, or you pay for it, whatever. But nowadays, you need somebody to take you on a safari. You need somebody to teach you how to paint and sip. You need somebody. You don't. You know who you need? You. You need you to wake the fuck up. Now I'm not talking about this woke generation that we're fucking part of for some god-awful reason. These goddamn cunts, you can't shake them off. Jesus Christ. They're cutthroat. See, some would say they need their throats cut. I don't know. But here's the deal. Wake up on the inside of you. When you were a child, right? You were up at 5 a.m. ready and raring to fucking go, right? Ready and raring to go. Wet diaper and all. Didn't matter. Didn't matter. You were ready to go. You were ready to learn. What's one of the first things we did? We learned how to get out of that fucking crib, didn't we? I sure as hell know I did. Had a bump and everything to prove it. Where did that go? Where'd that wonder? How the fuck do I get out of this cage? A lot of us are still in that cage. I think it's about time for us to get the fuck out of that cage. Let's revert back to childhood and just use that as motivation. Yes, some people didn't have good childhoods. You know what? There were moments in that childhood that had to be good. Life's not always shit. And if life's always shit, you might want to look in the mirror. You know? Because it's up to you. So if we revert back to the first time you ever picked up a leaf. Revert back to the first time you ever went on a hike as a child, though. Revert back to the first time you ever went to the park and you made a friend. Remember how easy it was to make friends? No judgment at all. Zero. Zero fucking judgment. There was no color. There was no, what are you wearing? There's no, what kind of chain you got? There was no, none of that. There was none of that bullshit. We'll call it like we see it here on the TrapHouse podcast. It's fucking bullshit. There was none of that. You remember how easy it was to make a friend? Nowadays, you meet somebody, even anywhere. Sometimes it's hard for people to even look you in the eyes nowadays. Why? Why is the question that you're supposed to be asking? And then what can I do to fix it? Well, here's the why, folks. Why are we in the position as adults, or some of us claim to be adults? Why are we in the position as adults where we can't figure things out on our own? We can't understand where we are. We have to go to this and do that and be over here or be in that time. But do we really need to be? Nah, I don't think so. But who am I? I'm just a guy. Epiphany Chris is coming at you hard today. There's no reason not to. If I held back, it would be pointless in doing this. I would have to scratch everything, every idea, everything I put down on paper, everything. I'd have to throw it all out. Because it'd be pointless if I wasn't going to give it everything I got. So why don't you do the same? Look at what you're doing in your life. Small. Start small. Start small. But then boil it down. Boil it down with your mind. Because you can do it. You ever have to boil water to get the bacteria out? You know how long it takes to boil fucking water? Take a guess. Now, if you think about how long it takes to boil water to get all the bacteria out, that's all you got to do for your problems. You sit down and just think about it. Or not even just problems, Goals. You got a goal? You wanna do this or you wanna do that? Sit down, put that goal at the top of your paper or your problem that you need solved, and then just boil that fucker down. Take 30 minutes a day and do that. 3 times a week or just 5 days. Do it for 5 days a week. Just do that. Let me know how it works out for you. I really want to know. I really do. Anyway, let's get back to the topics at hand. I want to talk about attitude today. So let's break it up. Let's break up the segments and let's just do this. When you go about your daily life, how do you present yourself? Or do you let others change how you react or respond? Or do you respond how you want to respond? Or do you respond in a different way? How do you go about interactions throughout the day? I don't know about you, but during the course of a day, I probably go through all of the emotions. At least all of them. At least once. At least once. You ever get frustrated at a plastic bag that won't open? You got a little angry, didn't you? You ever get frustrated if you don't put a Keurig cup in? That's frustration. You ever stub your toe? You ever late for something? Lock your keys in the car? You ever slam your finger in the door? Things like this happen to us every day. We experience the whole spectrum of emotions most of the time. Even if it's a small fraction, even if it's a really small thing. Because if you say you're happy from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, I'm not going to trust that guy all too much. I don't know about that guy. Seems a little off. Or if you're angry from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, I wonder if that's what's causing all the heart attacks and deaths. Just anger. Do you wake up and are you just mellow all day? Do you just have one solid mood for the whole day? I don't think so, man. Even if you have a strenuous shit, you're going through a few different emotions there. You ever brush your teeth too hard? You know, there's so many different things that cause these emotions inside of all of us. Now, if you were to interact with other humans, and they've also been going through and experiencing all these emotions in just one single day. Now, some people go through things a little different. But anyway, each to each their own, right? Just be you. You be you. Don't let somebody else try to convince you to be something else. Just be you, even though they want you to be more something else. Because here's the deal. Attitude? Nah. It's who I am. Fuck you. I think that's a pretty good attitude to have. If you don't like who I am, just based on how I respond to things, that's on you. I mean, some people are more upbeat in life. Some people are real mellow. Some people are hyped up, man, to the max. Some people are on go 24/7. Some of my buddies say that I fall in that category. If you don't like that, fuck you. I'm not going to change who I am because you don't like it. Right? Right. So it's all in how we perceive it, right? How do you perceive other humans when you interact with them? Right? Do you judge their body language? Are you looking for what they tell you to look for? Are you going on your gut feeling? You know, your gut is, your gut area there is just your stomach hungry. You know, you got your stomach down there, you got kidneys. I think you got an appendix if you haven't had it out yet, or if it burst and you're dead, I'm sorry. R.I.P. But listen, when people say they got a gut feeling, your gut doesn't do anything. There's organs down there that just do their independent duties. They don't have feelings. What the fuck? I'm going with my gut feeling on this one. That's the most retarded thing I've ever heard. And that's a fact, in my opinion. But how do you perceive other humans when you're interacting with them? Do you see good or bad? Indifferent? Does it matter? What if, during every human interaction, you just treated that person, or that human, or that group of humans that maybe you're associating with? Why don't you just treat them? Okay, so like if you're you, and you're interacting with another human, why don't you just both agree to be you and have a good time, or you have a conversation, or you interact? Yeah, listen, sometimes during a conversation, things can get real tense. Sometimes in a conversation, things can get sexual. What kind of attitude do you have then? If there's a high tense situation going on, I'm not sure about you guys and gals, but being that I'm a human, in the event that you get worked up for something, your heart just starts going poof, 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 poof. It starts pumping up, don't it? It's almost like revving a goddamn monster truck up. Jesus Christ, when them tense situations come up. What kind of attitude do you have then? Or is it just a natural human reaction? How do you change your attitude? How would you change an attitude given the situation? If you were in any type of situation, how would you change your attitude? So if you're mad, how quickly can you just not be mad anymore? If you're upset, or if you're joyous, you never want to stop being joyous. But obviously, like I said, things happen where you become not so joyous. But joy and being happy is the goal. But how do you change your attitude in an instant? Has anybody here ever been told you have an attitude problem? I know I have. Lots of times. But again, it's not an attitude. It's who I am. Fuck you. Now, I'll be honest, with the blood that courses through these veins, there's some fight in this kid. Now, will ever I go fist the cuff? Sure. If need be. But normally, you want to just be. You just want to be, right? And then just advance at being. So how do you filter your attitudes? Is there a filter? When you go to engage a human, do you have to I don't know, is it like some sort of thing you carry in your pocket where you could just put it over your head, where just changes your attitude? Do we have a filter mentally where we can say, all right, here, just hone in? I'm sure we do. I'm sure some people do. But I believe that you're just who you are, and in a given situation, you're conformed to think, I have to act this way. I have to. No, you don't. Always try to do everything in a calm, relatable manner, obviously, but if someone's giving you an attitude, maybe that's about time to end that conversation with that human. If they're not going to breed some positivity on you, what the fuck's the point of talking to them? What's the point of listening? What's the point of wasting that sweet ear pussy juice on somebody who doesn't give a fuck? Why waste the time? Don't waste your time. Use it wisely, because guess what? We don't know where the fuck it goes. We don't know where it comes from. It could stop at any moment. So listen, when you're having these conversations with other humans, when you're interacting with other humans, be aware when you're interacting with another human, make that person the most important person at that moment to you, so that they maybe feel more comfortable. Now, if you come at people with the quote unquote, I just did some air quotes, beep, beep. If you come at somebody with beep, beep, attitude, it's not really attitude, it's like that fight inside you. Some people have that. I guess whatever. It's not really an attitude. That's something that could be that's something that can just be smacked right the fuck out of an adult. That whatever attitude. That whatever. It's not even an attitude, it's a taught agenda. Whatever. Get that shit out of here. So it's all unique, guys. It's unique. Every human experience is unique. You should cherish it. Whether things get upbeat, or they're slow, or if they're low, or if they're boring, or whatever. Enjoy that, because we can learn from the dullest of fucking people. We can learn from the most crazy. We can learn from anybody and everybody and everything that's around us. We can learn every day. It's up to you. It's up to you to make sure you don't get caught up in the bullshit. Don't get caught up in that shit. It's a waste of time. He said this, she said that. Fuck out of here. Because it'd be kind of dumb to just mirror an attitude, wouldn't it? Or mirror that sensibility about you that would neglect everything you went through, maybe through that day or through that month, that week, that year. So all those emotions built up to who you were at that very moment. Maybe things weren't going so well for you. Maybe that other human across from you don't know that, and they perceive that as an attitude. Maybe things were going on. Maybe things are going on inside of that human's life that would make that human perceive you as having an attitude. Who knows? But in all actuality, when the facts are laid out, treat humans as the most important thing. At the moments, when you have the moments, make sure that those moments are spent wisely. Make sure that you spend those moments wisely. It's extremely important. Take advantage of it, because it's great. It's a wonderful experience when you cherish each moment. What changes our attitudes? What changes? What makes it so that I don't know. What makes it so that I don't care about this or don't want to do that? What makes it that what makes it so that I'm not like, oh, I don't really care about this conversation. Is it because, you know as a human, as in as being a capable human, you and I, we're capable. Obviously. I've said this before, but there's half a guy who's the fastest guy on two hands. Don't ever fucking say you can't do something. But go at it as you. Don't go at it as anybody else. Why are we all expected to act and be the same? You ever heard of a lemming before? You know what a lemming is? Anyway, they're these little creatures. Little animals. Dumb as a fucking box of rocks. They're dumb as shit. Seriously. They're dumb as fucking shit. You know why? Because a lemming always follows a lemming. No matter where this lemming goes, to the grocery store, delivering mail, going to church, this little lemmings, they just follow each other. They just follow each other around like little fucking retards. I'm gonna do what this guy's doing. Hey, you doing what that guy's doing? I'm doing what that guy. You want to do what that guy does? Yeah, let's do what that guy does. Hey, Billy, you doing what that? Hey, Philip, you gonna do what this guy does? Lemmings. Crazy thing about lemmings is if one falls over a cliff, all them other fucking lemmings are following him to their death. That's it. You gotta break away from being a lemming. Get that shit out of here. That herd mentality. I gotta do what this guy's doing. Hey, what are you doing next weekend? I'm hanging out with the boys. What are you guys doing? We're going to hang out in a club. Yeah, it's fun. Yeah. What do you do there? Get COVID. We gotta break away from the lemming pack. Be your own thinker. Be you. And use what's around you for inspiration. It's very easy. Just open your fucking eyes. Get off the goddamn couch. Get out there and experience the fucking life that you get to live. Because it's glorious when you look at it as a child. You need to get that back. We all need to get that back and hold on to it. So time may pass or not pass. We'll never get those feelings back. We'll never get those emotions back. We'll never get that time back. But I'll be damned if I don't get my wonder back. I'll be damned if I let somebody take that fucking wonder away from me. I'll be damned, dude. Come pry it from my cold, dead fingers. Come at me, bro. You come and try to take my wonder? I'm coming for that throat. You come and take my wonder? I'm gonna Spartan kick the fuck out of you. You come at me and try to get my wonder? I'm gonna kick you in a hole. If you fucking come and try to take my wonder, you're gonna go missing like Brian Landry. If you come and try to get my wonder, even Dog the Bounty Hunter's not gonna find you. Let me get one thing straight. My wonder is extremely important to me. It should be extremely important to you as well. So go back and fucking get it. It's been taken from you. Take that shit back. Don't be afraid to go get it either. Life happens to all of us. It's up to us as individuals to create our own reality and attitude. Listen, at 100 subscribers, I'm doing a giveaway. A big one. Let's get to 100 subs. Let's get there. I know we can get there. And it's up to you guys to get there. I can't fucking do it. I can't do it, but I'm going to give something away if we get to 100 subs. And that's a fucking guarantee. And guarantees I know are completely fucking pointless. So just take my goddamn word for it. I got no reason to lie to you folks. So let's get to 100 subs. I'm going to give something away. Why not? Remember, these are all facts, in my opinion.